At the end of this line, one of the ocean's strangest fish no longer looks frightening. A steel blade passes through a thick white portions disappear beneath clear vacuum film. But only hours earlier, the same meat was hidden inside a heavy head, rough skin, and a mouth filled with sharp teeth. This is monkfish, known in Korea as agui. Its appearance can stop people in their tracks. Its tail meat, however, is dense, mild, and highly valued. Turning such an awkward fish into a premium product takes more than one cut. It requires cold temperatures, careful hands, and a production line designed to waste as little flesh as possible. To understand the transformation, we need to return to the moment the factory doors first open.
Freshness controls everything that happens next. Monkfish flesh is valuable, but seafood begins changing quickly.
Freshness controls everything that happens next. Monkfish flesh is valuable, but seafood begins changing quickly when temperature rises. The receiving room is therefore kept cold, and every batch moves without delay. Workers first examine the skin, tail, belly, and gills. Damaged fish are separated before reaching the cutting room. The accepted monkfish are then weighed and grouped by size. This matters because a small tail and a large tail cannot move through the same blades at the same setting. Uniform groups make each later cut more accurate. The factory also checks the temperature inside selected fish. A probe confirms that the cold chain has not been broken during transport. Only after the batch passes these first controls can processing begin. The fish now appear to be organized, but beneath the rough skin, every body still presents a different challenge.
The first transformation begins with water. High-pressure sprays remove ice fragments, sand, and loose material.
The first transformation begins with water. High-pressure sprays remove ice fragments, sand, slime, and loose material from the surface. Rotating nozzles reach beneath the fins and around the heavy jaw. The cleaned monkfish then arrive at the cutting stations. Here, automation gives way to skilled hands. The head can represent a large part of the fish, while most of the premium fillet lies behind it. A careless cut would leave valuable meat attached to bone. Workers guide narrow knives along the natural line behind the head. The belly is opened and the internal organs are removed into a separate collection system. Edible parts can be separated for other products, while the remaining material leaves the food line. The body becomes lighter and cleaner, yet the thick, slippery skin still locks the white tail meat inside. Skinning monkfish is one of the most satisfying stages, and one of the easiest to get wrong. The outer skin is thick, elastic, and tightly attached near the fins. Workers first loosen a narrow edge with a knife. A gripping tool then pulls the skin backward while the tail is held firmly against the table. The covering stretches, separates, and finally slides away in one heavy sheet. But the fillet is not ready. Beneath the skin lies a thin, shiny membrane. If the membrane remains, the meat can tighten unevenly during cooking, and the surface looks rough. Removing it requires a much slower touch. Workers angle flexible blades almost flat against the flesh. The goal is to lift the membrane without shaving away the valuable white meat below. Millimeter by millimeter, the strange fish begins to reveal its premium center.
Hispanic female workers place each tail flat and follow the spine with a long, flexible knife. The first loin releases from one side.
Now the tail looks clean, but a central spine still divides the meat. Monkfish anatomy makes the next stage unusually direct. Instead of many fine bones spreading through the flesh, two thick loins sit along either side of the backbone. Workers place each tail flat and follow the spine with a long, flexible knife. The first loin releases from one side. The tail is turned, and the second loin is removed in the same way. The remaining frame passes to another collection line, where usable scraps can be recovered instead of entering the premium product. Each loin is then checked by hand. Fingers move across the surface to find small pieces of bone, tough connective tissue, or dark material. The transformation is now unmistakable. The enormous mouth has disappeared. The rough skin has disappeared. What remains looks less like a sea creature and more like a carefully shaped piece of meat.
Premium does not simply mean boneless. Every loin must also have the correct shape, color, weight, and surface.
Premium does not simply mean boneless. Every loin must also have the correct shape, color, weight, and surface. At the trimming tables, workers remove thin edges and small patches of connective tissue. The knife follows the natural curve of the muscle, producing a smooth cylinder with very little waste. Bright lamps make changes in color easy to see. Any loin that fails the visual check leaves the premium line. Accepted fillets receive a final cold rinse to remove loose particles. Air knives then push away surface water. This step may look minor, but excess moisture can interfere with weighing and vacuum sealing. The dry fillets pass over sensitive scales. A computer-controlled system groups similar weights, allowing the factory to create portions that cook at a similar speed. The fish has become clean and valuable. The next challenge is making thousands of pieces look exactly alike.
This is where hand-prepared loins become a mass-produced food. Cameras measure the length and thickness of every piece as the
This is where hand-prepared loins become a mass-produced food. Cameras measure the length and thickness of every piece as the conveyor moves. Software selects the cutting points, and fast blades divide the loins into portions. The cuts are not based on appearance alone. Each portion must fall within a narrow weight range. Pieces that are too small follow a separate path for diced products or prepared meals. The main portions continue toward a final shaping station. Small uneven corners are corrected and the fillets are aligned with their cut surfaces facing the same direction. The repeated pattern is hypnotic. White portions advance in straight rows, separated by only a few centimeters. Workers still watch the line, but most movement is now controlled by sensors, belts, and guide rails. The factory has reached full speed. Packaging can finally begin.
Packaging must protect the texture created during every earlier step. Each monkfish portion enters a food-safe pouch.
Packaging must protect the texture created during every earlier step. Each monkfish portion enters a food-safe pouch. The open packages are arranged inside a vacuum chamber, where air is removed in seconds. As the pressure falls, the film closes tightly around the fillet. The seal prevents air pockets and limits moisture loss during frozen storage. A heated bar closes the edge, and cooling plates set the seam. Workers inspect the transparent packs for folds, trapped liquid, or damaged film. Any imperfect seal is removed before the product continues. The accepted packages pass beneath another detector that checks for unwanted metal fragments. A final scale confirms the packed weight. Now the fillets can be handled without touching the exposed food. But the transformation is not complete. To travel from the Korean factory to distant kitchens, the product must pass through the coldest room in the building. Inside the freezing tunnel, powerful air moves around every package. The goal is to remove heat quickly and evenly, protecting the dense structure of the monkfish. Slow freezing can create larger ice crystals that damage delicate cells. Rapid freezing helps the fillet hold more of its natural texture after thawing. The sealed portions travel through the tunnel in organized rows until the center becomes fully frozen. Some production lines add a thin protective layer of ice around suitable frozen products, but vacuum-packed portions may move directly toward boxing. Before packing, workers examine the frozen shape and seal one final time. The finished units are counted, grouped, and placed into insulated cartons. Robotic arms stack the cartons onto pallets. From this point forward, the cold chain cannot pause. Refrigerated storage and transport will preserve everything the processing line has achieved.
The process ends far from the form in which it began. A whole monkfish entered the factory with a massive head, dark skin, and an almost prehistoric mouth.
The process ends far from the form in which it began. A whole monkfish entered the factory with a massive head, dark skin, and an almost prehistoric mouth. The finished product is clean, pale, uniform, and protected inside a clear package. In the factory test kitchen, one fillet is thawed and opened for a final texture check. The flesh remains dense and firm. A knife cuts the portion into thick medallions. On a hot steel surface, the pieces develop a light golden crust while the center stays moist and white. The contrast explains why this unusual fish is so valuable. Almost nothing about the raw monkfish suggests the refined food hidden inside its tail. Yet every wash, cut, inspection, and cold room was designed to reveal exactly that. From an ugly fish resting on ice to a premium fillet ready for sale, the transformation is finally complete.